Hey, how you doing? This is Pastor Greg Hintz from The Place Church, and today we're going to find ourselves in Luke chapter 7. It's an incredible chapter. I'd encourage you to check it out. In the beginning, we find Jesus healing a centurion's servant. Then we find him raising a widow's son. But I want to draw your attention to a conversation between John the Baptist and Jesus. And remember, we talked about John the Baptist. This is Jesus's cousin. He was the one who went before Jesus, paving the way for him. Well, John is going to send a message to Jesus. And we pick up the story in verse 18 of Luke chapter 7. Here's what it says. The disciples of John reported all these things to him, and John, calling two of his disciples to him, sent them to the Lord, saying, "Are you the one who is to come, or shall we look for another?" And I love Jesus' reply, which we read in verse 22. I want you to listen to what he sends back. He says this, "Go and tell John what you have seen and heard. The blind receive their sight, the lame walk, lepers are cleansed, and the deaf hear, the dead are raised, the poor have good news preached to them." Listen to this, verse 23, "And blessed is the one who is not offended by me." Man, I love that verse. Jesus talks about all the things that are taking place, the miracles that are taking place, the lives that are being changed, the good news, the gospel that is being preached, and all these incredible things are happening. And then he ends by saying this, "And blessed is the one who is not offended by me." You know, I think those words are important for us today, especially if you're a follower of Jesus, that we are called to be salt and light. That we are called to allow the goodness of God, the gospel of Jesus Christ to penetrate this world. But we cannot be offended by Jesus. We cannot be offended by that. We cannot let the world's standards or the world's view of who Jesus is stop us from being salt and being light. And maybe you're watching this right now and you find sometimes you could talk about Jesus and you don't. Sometimes you could be salt and light and you choose not to. You know, Jesus gave a great analogy of that. He talks about light, and he talks, it's kind of like a candle being covered up by a bushel so no one could see it. He said, no, allow that light to shine, to be placed in a place where it can show light to the entire room. See, that's what you're called to be. That's who you're called to be. You are called to be a person who is shedding light in the midst of the darkness. We are in a season right now when people desperately want light. People desperately want truth. People desperately want to know Jesus. They may not know exactly, but they're looking for answers. They're looking for truth. And inside of you, God has planted this seed. And this seed has begun to grow, to bloom, to blossom. Now it's our responsibility to allow the fruit of that seed to penetrate all of those around us, to simply let the light shine. You don't have to have all the answers. It's not your responsibility to bring forth the harvest. You know, we even see the importance of the seed being planted, the seed being watered, but the Bible tells us that God's the one that brings forth the harvest, not you. So in your life, I want to encourage you today, plant the seed, water the seed, shine the light. Let people know that you're a follower of Jesus. Let people know that you're willing to pray for them. You're willing to be there for them, that you're willing to do whatever it takes to be Jesus to the people around you, and allow the Holy Spirit to use you this week in an awesome way. Surrender yourself to the work of Jesus in your community and watch what God does today. God bless you. I hope you have a great day.